Welcome, everyone. So excited that this is my favorite conversation to have, is really about setting our vision and identifying the habits, the value that we deliver, and what we need to be working on now in order to ensure that we make the most of 2021. And if we can take every year and invest it into the next year, that compounds. I call that a compounding body of knowledge. And the more we do that year in, year out, imagine 50 years down the road, 60 years down the road, the body of knowledge that you will have preserved for yourself, that you will invested in yourself, and that will allow you to add that much more value into the marketplace and to your family and loved ones and all the people that you interact with on every day. So that's what Reset for 2021 is all about, is really about taking our lessons learned from 2020 and identifying some of the challenges and things that are holding us back, and some of the things that just as our society tends to hold us back. So as we've got here, wish for it, hope for it, dream of it, but by all means do it. And that is critical. Action is what is required if we want to move our lives forward. If we want to take ourselves from where we are today into the future, no one is going to come by and flip a switch and turn us on. We have to do it ourselves. So that is paramount. What we do at CapEx, ATC Automation, we've been representing these guys for years and years. 85% of their business is with repeat customers. Just an amazing company to work with. They do all things automation, assembly equipment. Cincinnati Test Systems is the largest leak test company in the country. Hard to believe. I started working with them, and they were teeny tiny way back when. So just so proud of them and what they've been able to accomplish over the years. Duquesne Plastic Joining, they are as it says, they're a global and diverse plastic joining company, but everything plastic joining, laser welding, hot plate welding, vibration welding, spin welding, you name it, welding. They do it for plastics. Symmetric is a division of Cincinnati Test Systems. We'll talk about them separately because they're more focused on the Industry 4.0. And then there's Keller Technologies. They are out of Fort Mill, and we do comprehensive industrial air filtration. That is wet and dry air filtration in industrial facilities. Okay, let's get into the conversation today. I want to let you know what we're going to be talking about. So our progress in 2021 is going to really be dependent on our intentional action and inquiry as far as where we are, what are our habits, and what are we doing to move ourselves forward. So we're going to cover those elements over the course of the next 25 minutes. So we're going to rifle through this real quick. First, we're going to talk about mindset and how important it is to have the right mindset in order to receive what it is that we've got going on, in order to see the world in a positive light or have an optimistic outlook. And then we're going to talk about our habits and the importance that habits play in our ability to move closer or progress toward our goals. And then we're going to talk about value and the importance of the value that we deliver to the market, and how that is ultimately going to determine our station in life, is really based on the value that we deliver, the value that we deliver for our work. That's how we often think about it. But what is the value that we are delivering for our friendships, for our family, for our community, for our church, for the different organizations that we are involved with? Those are all opportunities to involve value, and we often miss that in our efforts. We're going to talk about vision, and then we're going to talk about how to live our full potential. I've got a pyramid that I'm going to show you. It's something I came up with, and I just hopefully helps to illustrate how we can live our full potential. All right, let's keep going forward here. So the challenge, this is the challenge that we all face every year, every day, every moment of our lives, is finding this equilibrium between pain and pleasure, or discomfort and comfort. It's where we all want to be, where we all want to end up, is in a homeostasis. So homeostasis is a neutral form. So we're in equilibrium or homeostasis. We're not active. We are conserving energy. That is what we are doing as humans when we are experiencing homeostasis. So it's only natural. So we evolved to, when it wasn't time to go on a hunt, to go chase something down, to go kill something and bring it home, we didn't know when our next meal was going to come. So what we did was we sat around and we conserved our energy until it was time to go on the hunt. And as a result, we had plenty of energy stores, ideally, uh, assuming that we were successful in our last hunt. So that's why, just naturally as humans, we are predisposed to sit on the couch and eat potato chips and not do anything because we want to conserve energy. It is part of who we are, but we have to overcome that. And we need to exercise. We need to be active. That is the pain portion, right? So homeostasis is pleasure and exercise is pain. Entertainment. I talked about sitting on the couch. Entertainment is comfortable, right? We want to be entertained. And entertainment, it triggers something in our minds and our brains to actually think that we're doing something because it's hitting that dopamine uh, release that we need in order to feel like we are actually accomplishing something. So then reading, I mean, for me, I enjoy reading, but for many people, they would just as soon watch television as opposed to read. So it's uncomfortable with them. It's a discomfort. But if we want to pursue and progress toward our goals in 2021, it's imperative that we take the path of least resistance instead of taking the path. Take the path that has resistance as opposed to taking the path of least resistance, which is, again, where we are predisposed to do. So marketing messages. Each day, we are bombarded with 5,000 marketing messages from companies out there in our world, whether it's on social media, whether it's on television, whether it's on the radio, whether it's on billboards, you name it. We are bombarded with these messages, and the messages are always telling us, hey, you deserve this. You own this. It's yours. You should have this. And that's comfort, right? So they're selling comfort. They're selling our peace of mind or us feeling better about ourselves or helping us feel significant or validated. That's what they're working on. That's what they're focusing on. So it's only natural that we would have the tendency to not be active, to not move forward when we are being bombarded by all these messages that say, hey, you're good enough. Don't worry about anything else. Just buy this and you'll be happy. The opposite of that is, of course, accepting responsibility for our lives. We must live in that discomfort when we are unsatisfied with our lives. It isn't going to help us to go out and buy something new. What's going to help us is to really get off of our butt and be intentional and take action. That hot fudge sundae is pleasure. Man, I love a good hot fudge sundae. The vegetables might be discomfort. I don't know. And sometimes we like vegetables, but we would definitely prefer the hot fudge sundae. Political messaging. Again, the politicians, hey, we'll give you this, we'll give you that, we'll penalize them, and we'll give you the benefits of the penalties that we provide. I mean, that is a natural messaging that we hear. And so we begin to believe that we deserve it. And we get self-righteous because of the messaging that they are sharing with us. So again, we're focused on accepting responsibility or accepting reality for what it is. Sometimes it sucks. And we just have to accept the fact that it sucks, but it is really difficult to live in that. I say we are living an unconscious life. We're living unconsciously because we are unable to accept reality. So we are conscious when we are aware of the way things are and the messaging that we are telling ourselves and communicating to the world as it relates to that reality. Sitting down is comfortable. Right now I'm standing up. So I'm at a standing desk, and so that's can be uncomfortable over the course of a day. Staying up late, that's pleasurable, watching your shows, binge watching, whatever you're doing, staying up late. But getting up early, that is uncomfortable for many of us. So that is the challenge. The challenge is moving ourselves away from homeostasis. And what it takes to do that are these elements. Our mindset. What is your mindset? So Carol Dweck taught us about the two types of mindsets that are out there. There's the fixed mindset. So the fixed mindset is that the intelligence or your talents are fixed, or they're set at birth. I can't get any better than I am now. I'm as smart as I'm going to be. My intelligence is fixed. My knowledge is fixed. And so that is it's almost, I call it a pessimistic mindset as well. So you can interweave those two, the pessimistic and the fixed mindset. So measuring intelligence versus increasing. So their belief again is that it is just fixed and stagnant. The growth mindset is that intelligence and talents can be cultivated. They can be grown. And it's important, if you're raising children, if you have children, to help them understand the difference between the fixed mindset and the growth mindset, and to really help them live into the growth mindset, the belief that they can get better, that they can learn what they need to learn, that their life is going to continue to grow and evolve as they invest in themselves and get better. So growth mindset people, they believe in their ability to figure things out. They believe in their ability to figure things out. How do we cultivate our mindset? Well, we need to define what that ideal mindset is for you. So what descriptive words would you use to describe the mindset that you desire to have? For me, it would be a curiosity. I have, I, I love curiosity. I love learning new things. I love focusing on it. Oh gosh, why is that the way that it is? If something doesn't seem right, I want to dig into it. I want to know more. I want to understand. So for me, a descriptive word for my mindset would be curiosity, because that's how I'm going to go about things. Another for me would be courage. I want to have courage to turn on my computer and turn on my video camera and try to pour into and give value to someone else, when it could be, embarrassing. I could, have a booger fall on my nose, or, slobber all over myself. Heaven only knows what could happen here. But I want to be courageous in providing information that I hope is helpful to other people. So those were just some descriptive words. So what would your descriptive words be? Write a couple down right now if you are listening to this, and just think about it. Ponder, what type of mindset would you have? So describe your new mindset. How do you want to show up in the world? This is so important to conceptualize. How do you want to show up in the world? If every day you're showing up and you haven't thought about this, and you got that dour face, you got that, just anger look on your face. We all have seen people, and we know people that, maybe come to work every day, and that's the look that's on their face, or that's how they wake up, or that's just how they are. But they have clearly not chosen their mindset. Mindset is a choice. We can choose our mindset every day. So describe it. How do you want to show up? One of the things to think about is, at your funeral, what are people going to say? What is your family going to say about your mindset and how you showed up in their lives? What will your friends say about how you showed up in their lives? What will your coworkers say about how you showed up in their lives? Because it's, for me personally, I can't think of anything that's more important than those relationships I just mentioned there: family, friends, coworkers, community. How am I showing up? How are you showing up? Define it, create that vision. Next, after mindset, we've got our habits. So what is a habit? A habit is an action without thought. It all originates in the um, hippocampus. So that is where our habits reside. They are, in our brain, deep down there. They are in our hippocampus. So that's why we can drive to work if we live and work in a different spot, and we get there and we don't even remember the ride, because we just naturally drove and probably thought about something else all the way there. So brushing our teeth. I mean, there are any number of habits that we have, and there are good habits, of course, and there are bad habits. And some of them, our thought patterns, our habits. So do you have a positive thought pattern? Do you naturally think of how things can be and what they're going to be? Or do you lament and ruminate on things that have happened in your life that you're not happy with, that you're upset with, that you didn't like how that transpired? So there are two different thought patterns. It's important that we realize that not only do we have physical habits, brushing our teeth, that we put on autopilot, but our thoughts, unless we are conscious and aware of those thoughts, become a thought pattern. It could be a positive pattern, it could be a negative pattern, but it's important, and only we can answer that question for ourselves. So our everyday activities, I mentioned this, route to work, and then our response to input. This is that thought pattern side. So we have our physical, and then our response to, anger, acceptance, fight, flight. How is it that we respond when we have certain inputs? Those are also habits. We can be intentional. I'll give you an example. For me, I used to, if someone would cut me off in traffic, or somebody did me wrong, I fell on the road, I would become just angry, seething with anger. How could they do that, and everything else? And thanks to meditation that I have done religiously for hundreds of thousands of hours at this point, I have been able to more easily let that go. Now, not that at times it doesn't still get me fired up, but I'm able to stay connected because I'm conscious. I'm aware of what's going on, and I'm aware that I have the ability to choose my response. And that is the key, is understanding that anger that's coming in there is really up to me. So other habits include alcohol, drugs, tobacco. So we can also have positive habits, exercise, nutrition, sleeping, expressing gratitude, demonstrating appreciation. Those are all healthy habits that really can help us to improve and increase our well-being and happiness in our lives. So habits determine our activity and the use of our time. So if we have if we have a minute or 30 minutes, let's say, do we pick up our phones and start scrolling, or do we focus on reading a book or pouring into ourselves? So those are the type of habits that can help, again, build that body of knowledge moving into 2021 and beyond, is by cultivating habits that are going to help to increase the value of what you're able to deliver to your friends, family, and your business. We're going to talk more about that right now. So positive effect habits: reading, studying, planning, exercising, mentoring. The negative habits: watching television, drinking too much, social media, shopping. All of these are habits that can, if left unchecked, can end up being, you go all the way through 2020, 21, and you're like, what just happened? Well, and the year's gone, and you've made no investments into your future. All right, so now I've got a few questions for you. So what are the current habits that are serving you? What current habits do you have that are serving you? Write it down. Write down, what are the habits that you have that are serving you? For me, I can only give you my example. So I try to get up early. And when I get up early, I first go to meditate after drinking a big glass of water, because we dehydrate overnight. And then I go and do my 20 minutes of meditation. Then I stretch. And then I start my writing habit and really work to build that craft of writing, getting my thoughts out of my head and onto paper. Then it's then it's on to exercise, and then it's help with kids, and then it's the day has begun. So that's my morning routine, my morning habits that I try to cultivate as an example. So those are serving me. So what current habits are not serving you? So make a list of those. What things do you do that are not serving you? Well, for me, I can tell you that sometimes if I have a moment or I lose my focus on what I'm doing, I'll end up in the rabbit hole of the internet. I'll go to search something, and then that'll end up something else, and then before I know it, I'm watching 45 minutes worth of YouTube channels or YouTube videos on cats jumping over cucumbers or something like that. So it's important that we identify what those habits are, and then have triggers that can help bring us back to reality. Say, whoa, oh my gosh, I don't care about the next cat cucumber video. Okay, so what habits will you eliminate? So you've made a list. What habits will you eliminate? What habits will you cultivate moving forward? What are some habits that will help you moving forward? There are many books on how to cultivate and implement these habits into your life. So what I'm encouraging you to do is find those books and study them. Micro habits, so making small changes. The reason that I always call them revolutions, that New Year's resolutions do not work is because we go overboard. We say, we're going to do all of this, and we try it all. And after a week, we're just absolutely miserable because we've taken everything out of our life that we've been doing for the last 30 years. So it's important that you work on one. This is proven, scientifically proven. You fix one thing, and then you continue to work on that habit. Then you go to fix the next habit or make those changes, and just do it in small bites, small chunks. Don't try to do it all at once. And then before you know it, you'll be a year down the road and you'll look back and you'll say, gosh, wow, look where I've come from. I didn't think it was possible for me to lose all that weight, for me to become physically fit, for me to get better sleep, whatever it is that you desire to put more of in your life. The chains of habits are too weak to be felt until they are too strong to be broken. That's why that mindfulness, that awareness, that consciousness is so important for us to realize and apply a level of intentionality. Why am I doing this? Is this smart? Is this healthy? Is this going to help me moving forward? Is it going to help me move closer toward my goals? All right, so here's one of my favorite conversations. What I love to talk about is value. Who wants more money? Who wants more time? Who wants more stuff, more cars, a vacation home, more furniture, better furniture, bigger TV, whatever it is? How do you get more money, more time, and more stuff? That is the challenge, right? So if you listen to the politicians, they're going to give it to you because that's what they want, because they know that they can sell you on getting something for nothing and get your vote in return. The marketing world out there. So the corporations, they want you to believe that you deserve it all. And it just takes a little bit of your money and you can have everything that you want. But obviously, we know that that is not reality. Reality is this, that we live in a capitalist society. It is a market system. And so the best strategy for receiving more in a market system is by increasing your value. So if you want more, then you must become more valuable. My mentor, Jim Rohn, hammered this home all the time. In order to have more than you have got, you need to become more than you are. That was his saying. So we need to understand that we can grow our value. This is such a simple concept, but we all miss it. We go to work every day and we say, I'm doing the minimum, or we put in the minimum effort. We can't wait for 4 o'clock, 4:30 to roll around so we can punch the time clock and race home so we can sit on our couch and eat potato chips or whatever it is that we race home to do. Look at Facebook or something. Actually, you're probably doing that at work too. But anyway, it is important that from a value perspective, we realize that the more value we create, cultivate, and grow in ourselves, the more the market will reward us. Now, maybe not immediately, and maybe not in the time frame that you want, but I promise you that the market rewards consistency and a consistent increase in the value that we deliver. So study your craft. So here's some ideas on how to grow your value. Study your craft. If you're an engineer, how can you be a better engineer? How can you be the best engineer? Who in your industry is the best at what they do? Who can you learn from? Study your industry. Again, if you're an engineer, that's your craft. If you're in manufacturing, say automotive manufacturing, that is your industry. What's going on? What are the trends? What do you see in that industry moving forward? Things are transitioning to electric. You know what? They're using data a lot more now than they ever were before so that they can troubleshoot processes and project potential problems into the future. How can you leverage that in your current manufacturing company? Increase your capacity. So the way that you increase your capacity is to take on more than you're comfortable with. You take it all on, and then you have to figure out how to get it done. And by doing so, you're going to be more efficient, more effective. You're going to learn more. You're going to build your skills. You're going to adapt. You're going to increase your capacity to do work. And that's what we all need to do in our, this is strictly speaking for our jobs, for our careers. Collaboration with colleagues and experts. So get a group of people together, talk with them. What's going on? What are you seeing over there in your facility? What are you seeing in your facility? You may have a company that's large enough that you could create and facilitate this conversation with others in your company. Again, that is how you can grow your value to be to the point where you'll become invaluable. They won't be able to pay you enough. That's what I say to every employee that I have. I want you to increase your skill and ability and capacity so much that I can't afford you, that you need to go somewhere else that can compensate you for the value that you bring to their business. That is the ideal from my perspective. I want every employee to reach that point. Find a mentor, find someone, again, that's been there, done that can help you navigate the waters and understand the landmines and challenges that you're going to face and help you to overcome those. Volunteer, raise your hand. Again, let your mouth overload your back, especially in the beginning. Now, over the course of time, when you increase your capacity to a certain level, you're going to want to focus in. You're going to want to narrow that focus so that you can become the best at that. And as a result of being the best at that, whatever that is, you're going to be in high demand. But in the beginning, we need to take it all on because we just need to grow. And so volunteering for projects that are not necessarily something that you're comfortable with and have done before. There are online classes. The amount of of classes and ways of learning are infinite with the advent of the internet. Read books. I mean, if you're going to study anything, I mean, it's been written. Somebody has written about it, whatever it is that you are trying to master. That is how we can continue to grow our value so that we add more value to the market. And as a result of adding more value to the market, we're going to get that value back. Okay, so here's some of the action items for you to be thinking about. List 3 ways that you will grow your value. How can you grow your value? Maybe it's for your family. Maybe you want to be able to add more value for your family members. How can you grow your value? Maybe it's for your work. How can you grow your value for the company that you work for? Who can be a mentor? Identify, just write them down. Write down a whole list of people that could potentially mentor you, and then reach out to them and talk to them. And I encourage you, don't say, hey, will you mentor me? What you want to do is make sure that they understand how you're going to deliver value to them, because it's not a one-way street. If you're going to mentor someone, you want to make sure that they're going to, from a mentor perspective, you want to make sure that the person that you're mentoring is going to implement and heed your advice. So it's important that you let them know, hey, here's where I am. Here's what I'm focused on. Here's my vision. And I want to take your advice. I want to live essentially some of your experiences so that I can progress in my career. But again, offer them feedback and help them see how you're going to apply what it is that that they're going to share with you in your life. So what skill is most important for growing your career? Do you know what that is? Do you know, is it speaking? Is it data analysis? What skill is most important for you to grow in your career? What industry or trade groups can you join in order to, again, begin to learn more and have meaningful and intentional dialogue about your industry? What books can you read or should you read that will help you, again, deliver more value to your company? You can join Toastmasters as an example. I think they're starting to get back together face to face. Be more concerned with your character more than your reputation, says John Wooden, because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think of you. Man, John Wooden was the man. Okay, here's what we need to do. So we're going to talk about the reset, how to live into our full potential. We've talked about what it is that we need to focus on, our mindset. We need to focus on our habits, and we need to focus on the value that we deliver. Mindset, our habits, and our value. If we focus on those, investing those here in 2021, we can begin to add value as opposed to extracting value. So if we're not adding value, we're extracting value, right? So extraction is misery. It's miserable. Think of the people that you know that every time they're in a situation, that all they want is to get something out of it. They want something for themselves. They're extracting as opposed to contributing to that. Well, people that extract value, they're miserable. We've all seen them. We've experienced them. It's just, it's an awful spot to be. Another concept that I like to talk about as it relates to this misery or our extraction or the things that hold us back, right? So our bad habits hold us back, our bad mindset holds us back, our lack of understanding of value and value to the marketplace can hold us back. But there's this backpack that we carry around with us every day. You don't even know it, but every morning when you wake up, you swing your legs out of bed, you look over in the corner and there's this backpack, and you put it on your back, and you get out of bed and you trudge to the shower or wherever you go, and you wear that backpack with you all day long. So the backpack, that's your burdens. Those are all your mistakes. Every person, every transgression, everything that's pissed you off is stuffed into this bag. Every mistake that you've ever made, you push it into this backpack. And every day, instead of letting go of that backpack, we take it with us as if it's our story, as if we need to make up a story of misery. Someone asks you something, hey, I need your help with this. You say, I can't help you. Do you not see my backpack? It's weighing me down. It's weighing my mind down, and I'm incapable of moving past this backpack. So the key here is to learn to unload the backpack, to realize that carrying all those stories, all those transgressions, all those problems with you, that's your choice. If someone wronged you at some point in time in your life, I guarantee you they've forgotten it. but you continue to harbor it, or we often, I mean, I do it myself. We harbor that forever. We put it in our backpack and we carry it with us forever as if it validates our misery. There's no need to do that. We have full capability and capacity to empty our backpacks. We want to accept reality. So what is preventing you or has preventing you from living your full potential? What's preventing you from adding value to the market in the capacity and the way that you know that you can? Who is holding you back? Who's holding you back or preventing you from living your full potential? So what's preventing you? Who is preventing you? And what are three things? Let's go back before we talk about the grateful things. Now, these questions really are about finding your excuses, right? So what is preventing me? With anything that you list after answering this question is going to be a list of excuses. Anything that we list as far as people holding us back, again, a list of excuses. So no one holds us back. We hold ourselves back by allowing the idea of someone else to hold us back. There's always ways around it. We've got to be creative if you're using that as your excuse. So these are our excuses. It's important that we have gratitude, demonstrate gratitude on a regular basis, because that mindset, that positive mindset, that optimistic, that belief mindset really requires that we are appreciative and grateful for those that help us and what we already have, which, if you live in the United States of America, is an amazing place to live, regardless of all the political crap and challenges that we've had back in 2020, which aren't going away in 2021. But this is the country to be in moving forward for sure. So the vision forward, moving forward, so that as you think about that vision that we want for our future, answer this question. It's called the Dan Sullivan question. 3 years from today, if we were to sit here and have this conversation, what would have had to have happened in your personal life as well as your professional life for you to be satisfied with your progress? What would have had to have happened for you to be satisfied with your progress? Now, the beauty of this question is 3 years down the road, that's what, 2024. We can visualize 2024. We can think of what that's going to be. What has to happen in your life for you to be satisfied with your progress? This is about, think about happiness, well-being. We need to progress as individuals. We need to progress in order to feel as though we are, that's where that satisfaction, that happiness comes from, oftentimes, is our progress. Okay, so what 3 actions can you take immediately to begin implementing the necessary changes to move forward? Now, I realize in this abbreviated version of this, you don't have these written down right now, but I want to encourage you to go back, take this, watch this video, pause it, and write down what 3 actions will you take immediately to begin implementing the necessary changes to move toward your 3-year vision. What needs to happen in your life to move closer toward that 3-year vision? Really key, setting the vision and then identifying the actions necessary to progress toward those visions. Okay, this is what I call the pyramid of full potential. I believe that we all want to live our full potential and live into the best of who we are. We got Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which was a pyramid. Well, I've stepped past that. So I want you to think about the relationships. I think the relationships is the foundation for living a life of full potential. Does anything really matter if we don't have relationships in our lives? How lonely, how meaningless would our life be if we didn't have people to do life with? I'm going to encourage you, if you don't have many people in your life to do life with, then you probably need to change your attitude or get around the right people, change your mindset. How can you deliver value from them instead of extracting value? That's what we want to do and need to do as friends, as family members, in order to build those meaningful, strong relationships. So what are some qualities of those relationships that you most enjoy in the relationships that you have? Cultivate those and just, man, that's why relationships are the foundation of us and our ability to live our full potential. Because really, what else matters if we don't have relationships? The next is health. So we need to prioritize our health, because everything else, again, this is a progression. Relationships, that's the foundation. And life is really meaningless without the relationships that we have. The next is health. We can have relationships without our health, but we can't move up the pyramid without our health. So it's important that we prioritize our health, our mental health, our physical health. Then we talk about contribution. We talked about value. So how can you contribute value in the service of others? That's really what we want. We want to deliver value in the service of others. I read a book here most recently. It's called Flourish by Dr. Martin Seligman. In there, he talks about the five principles, 5 pillars of well-being or happiness. Number one is positive emotions. We need to experience positive emotions in our life on a regular basis, every single day. We need to be smiling, experience those positive emotions. And it's a challenge to do that sometimes. I know, because we take life very seriously. Believe me, I know I'm kind of that bad that way. So it's important that we have positive and experience positive emotions. Number two is engagement. We need to be engaged in our work, engaged in our relationships, just engaged in what it is that we are doing. So again, we're talking about well-being and happiness. And these are the 5 pillars of that: positive emotions, engagement in the work. Then the third is relationships. Our relationships, I mentioned it here, but when he talks about well-being, relationships are critical for us to feel happy and satisfied with our lives. The fourth is meaning. We need to have meaning and purpose that's helping to drive us forward. The value that we're delivering, we're doing that, and we're delivering that value for others. And that is where that meaning is derived. And then A is achievement and accomplishment. So we want to make sure that we are accomplishing and achieving in our lives. So we've got positive emotions, we've got engagement, we've got relationships, we've got meaning, and we've got accomplishment. That's what we're striving for. If we can do those 5 things, if we can focus on those 5 things on a regular basis, we're going to have more fulfillment, more joy, more happiness in our lives, and our lives will be more meaningful, again, and fulfilling. Okay, so that's contribution. I've really kicked that one around. Growth. So we want to grow our value. If we are contributing, that's awesome. But how can we grow our ability to contribute? I mentioned capacity. How can we grow our capacity? It's important that we continue to grow. How tall will a tree grow is what Jim Rohn always used to ask. And of course, the answer is it'll grow as tall as it can. Well, humans are built the same way. We can continue to grow our value, grow our ability through learning, through application, through effort. All right, so next is the awareness. So awareness is that consciousness that I'm talking about. Many of us are going through life. We are unconscious. We're responding to whatever is happening in our lives. We're reacting. So when we're conscious, we are able to assimilate what's going on, living in reality, and then not necessarily pass judgment on it, but understand and determine our response. As opposed to reacting, we're going to determine our response. I always say that there are 4 things. There are only 4 things that we control. And I defy you to try to identify anything else that we control. We control our attitude. We control our responses to what happens to us. We control our inputs. So what we're putting in, is it positive or is it negative? Is it social media? Is it television? Is it the news? What are we putting in to our brain? We control the inputs. And then number 4 is our effort. That's it. I have not discovered anything else that we actually control other than our attitude, response, input, and effort. And that has nothing to do with the motor skills. That has everything to do with up here. Everything right here. So if you're going to work anything out, if we're going to work anything out to be better, we need to learn to work out our brain, not just our muscles. Okay, so in summary, mindset determines your future. Is it going to be growth oriented or is it going to be fixed? If it's fixed, you're not going to grow and your future is going to be stagnant. If you're focused on growth, then you're going to continue to improve, grow, add more value to the market, and the market will reward you, I promise you. Habits determine your progress. Do you have good habits, bad habits? What is the mix? And how can you begin to change those habits so that you can cultivate the habits that are going to help you progress toward your goals in 2021? The market only rewards value. I beat that dead horse there. Accept reality and responsibility. Your life is your life and nobody else's life. Your thoughts are your thoughts and nobody else's thoughts. So how can you turn it around so that you are seeing reality for what it is and then modifying the thoughts that you're having so that you accept reality, accept life as it is, and then move toward that life that you more desire. So be grateful be grateful. Every day is an example of something I'm doing. Encourage you to do it. It was one of the things that I read about in the Flourish book, talking about how to cultivate more well-being and happiness in our lives. Every night, I write in my journal when I hop in bed, 3 things that I'm grateful for. Sometimes it repeats because I'm grateful, of course, for my family, but what happened that day that might be unique that I'm grateful for. So I try to document that so that I go to bed not lamenting on my mistakes, my errors, my frustrations, but reminding myself of what it is that I am grateful for in life. And I encourage you to do the same activity. It's proven scientifically through the studies that Martin Seligman has done to increase our level of optimism and joy in our lives. Okay, so define your ideal future, write it down, create that vision. What does your life look like when it's all said and done? It's important that you project it out and then you begin to live the way that is necessary to ensure that when it's all said and done, that history is written according to your desire. Define the action items that will help you stay focused. Surround yourself with people that can help you grow and will help you stay focused. And then rinse and repeat, revisit and revise, rinse and repeat, revisit and revise. This is not a one-time thing. Every quarter, step back, take time. Think about where have I progressed? What are my goals? What am I going for? How am I showing up in my relationships? How am I showing up as a father? How am I showing up as a spouse? How am I showing up as a son, as a family member, as a friend, as a coworker? How are we showing up? That assessment allows us again to accept reality as it is and define how we can alter our approach moving forward. But it's never going to happen if we aren't intentional in our efforts and our thoughts. All right, so what other topics would you like for us to cover in 2021? I want to encourage you, throw those out there. Our goal is to always be adding value to our customers, and that's what we want to do every single day. That's why we show up to work, is to deliver value to our customers, principals, and people that we work with on a regular basis. What topics in 2021 do you want to cover? We'll do the study, and then we'll come here and we'll spend 30 minutes talking about those coming up. All right, so again, I want to express my appreciation for each and every one of you for all your business. Mike Dorsey, he's down in South Carolina. Chris Mullins, he's over in Eastern North Carolina and Virginia. Again, I'm Russ Sorrells. I'm in Western North Carolina and upstate South Carolina. So appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you have an amazing 2021. If we can help you in any way, that's what we're here for. We want to always be adding value to our customers and to those in our lives. Thanks so much. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.